Another IM that costs really low but sounds really good. So hello and welcome to Aftersound Review, and this is my review for Simgot EW100P Shark. Well, I just call this 100 Shark maybe. Thank you for Simgot for providing me with this review unit. And yeah, this IM costs only around $20 and using a single dynamic driver. And just like usual, I will break down this review from the build, fit, frequency response, sound, and comparison. Build quality wise, well, they are all made of plastic unless this, I don't know, maybe the faceplate is aluminum. Not sure about that, but it feels good in my hand. It's all smooth but doesn't feel like a high quality IM. Of course, they're using 2-pin connectors, but I do have to say that the cable itself is really feels flexible and nice. It feels more high quality than those of a stiff cable from KZ. It feels more soft and flexible, so I really like this cable. The ergonomics is also nice. I find that the housing is soft and subtle to the ears, and the ear guide is nicely placed. Also, the cable, like I said, it's very flexible and a non-microkinetic. Overall, I'm loving the fit. In terms of frequency response, like you've seen here, it follows the Harman response, and yeah, that means this IM has two most prominent frequency areas, which is the bass area that goes quite deep nicely and well controlled, and then the upper mid-range that makes this IM quite pop out, especially at higher human voices, or simply say a lot of female voices. But after that, the treble is mostly smooth and not really extended. Well, starting from the bass area, I would say that this IM has a really nice bass that goes deep and also tight and fast. So for me, at least for my preference, this kind of bass is an all-rounder kind of bass that goes well with a lot of music genre. But maybe I believe that for those who are bass heads, this IM lacks body in the mid bass area. So when I'm hearing EDMs, it's not maybe thick or makes me jump and dance enough. It's just lacking a little bit of mid bass if you are a bass head. But for my preference, I do prefer more a balanced kind of bass. This is enough for my playlist. Now let's just, I said in the middle of this review that the vocal is mostly skewed towards the upper mid-range. So yes, you will hear more higher human vocal voices rather than lower human vocal voices. So yes, you will hear mostly female vocals sounding more forward than the male vocal. And male vocals sound a little bit recessed, I would say, and also a little bit thinner than the usual, but that's it. Because the thing is, the vocal is actually, the timbre of the vocal is actually really nice. So when I'm hearing a lot of music from this IM, it always seems proper, but it's just simply a little bit on the thinner side. But other than that, I don't feel that this sound shouty or sibilant or anything like that. It's just a proper, but just a little bit thin. Now the treble is mostly smooth. It's more elevated on the lower treble area, so it's mostly when you're hearing cymbal crash, you don't really hear the brilliance or the from the cymbal crash itself, but you just feel the initial crash just like that. But after that, it's mostly smoothed. But it does affect some instrumentals like the cymbal. It feels kind of smoothened, and also when you hear violins, it's a little bit restrained in the upper area, in the upper frequency. But other than that, I do feel that this kind of treble will suit a lot of people because it's not dark, it just have enough sparkle on it, but it's just simply not really extended but well defined. So as an overall for the tonal of this IM, I would say that this is still an all-rounder kind of tonality because you do get that well-controlled bass accompanied with forward mid-range. That makes a lot of music sounds exciting but proper at the same time, but maybe just a little bit nitpicking for me that the vocal is just a little bit thin for male voices. But other than that, for me, this IM is a nice all-rounder. Now, the technicality, well, it's just amongst one of the good ones. I wouldn't say that it's the best nor the worst either, because I would say that when I'm hearing this with Salnote Zero or the Tangzu 1R, I would say that the detail level and overall resolution level is just at the same level. Maybe if you compare it with the KZ ZVX or the Hola, the ZVX and Hola, it's just a little bit better in separating bass and mid-range area, but that's it for me. Yeah, it's just simply okay. The soundstage is good. The detail is good. It's not compressed. It's not shallow either. Yeah, it's just good, but simply not the best, not the worst. It's just good. Now, how do they compare with any other competitors on this price point? Well, comparing them first with the Montero 2, because it definitely reminds me of how 2 sounds, and apparently it does graph almost the same. Well, 2 is somehow thinner and more, I would say, more dry, especially maybe it's because of the lower treble that is more elevated on the 2, while this Simgot EW100P is just similar in a lot of ways. It's just sweeter, especially in upper mid-range to treble area, so it is smoother, especially when I'm hearing some female vocals. I do think that this is more sweet and smooth. Well, another IEMs that reminds me of is the SoundNote Zero. Well, the SoundNote Zero, it feels less forward in upper mid-range. So actually for me, the SoundNote Zero sounds more well balanced in overall frequencies compared to the EW100P, but this EW100P does have more forward female voices that may attract if you are more into female voices, because it's simply more forward in that department. But for me, the SoundNote Zero is just more balanced. Now, if I compare them with the Tangzu 1R, well, simply said the Tangzu 1R is the most warm of the things that I've mentioned before. Tangzu 1R is more full-bodied, but with less treble emphasized, so you might feel that the 1R is simply almost the darkest one, even though I wouldn't say that 1R is dark, but compared to another, it simply has the thickest voice with thickest mid bass. So yeah, I would say that people might like them all for different genres. They are all good. They are all good. I like them all. It's just different here and there in the tonal department. So as closing words, I would say that this IEM is nice. It is not the best. It is among the best ones, like the SoundNote Zero, Tangzu 1R, and even like the KZZVX or the Key KZHBB. You know, at those price point, at around $20 price point, those are the IEMs that I would consider good, but it just depends on your genre or your sensitivity or maybe your preference and frequency response. This IEM will be recommendation for me if you like female vocal voices and you don't really mind male vocals sound a little bit thin and recessed maybe, and you like more of a sub bass, kind of a little bit of bass boost there rather than full mid bass, this IEM will be for you. So that's all I could say about this IEM. I'm definitely one of the best for around $20, and this is my final score for its tonality and its technical. Good job, Simgot! Another strike after the EA500. Thank you for watching and see you next time. Bye bye.